Hi, Austin, friends, clients, neighbors. Jill Leberknight here of the Austin Holistic Real Estate Group, and I am kicking things off this Monday with a new series that's hoping to bring you information, facts, and knowledge so that you can make healthy real estate decisions for you and your family in this changing market. Every Monday, I always start off my week by connecting with all of our preferred vendors and getting a sense of what's happening in the market so that I can be prepared for that question that realtors are asked on a daily basis: how's the market? So today I thought I would start off and connect with Mark Abernathy, branch manager and senior loan officer at Capstone Lending, one of the Agent Jill team and Austin Holistic Real Estate Group's primary loan officers and lenders for our clients. So I'm going to bring Mark in, and so you can share and tune in and listen to the regular Monday conversation that Mark and I have on a regular basis. Mark Abernathy, welcome. Hello there, sir.
Hello, Jill. Happy Monday. Happy to be here.
Happy Monday. So let's do a timestamp. It is June 13th, 2022. And I call you every week. Hey, Mark, what's going on? What's happening in the market this week? So catch us up. Help our clients, our neighbors, our fellow Austinites understand what's happening in the market this week.
You got
Lots happening.
lots and lots of things happening. So we're seeing a little bit of a shift in our market right now. And when I say a shift, it's a positive shift in the sense that we have more sellers putting their homes on the market. And what it's done is it's enabling, we have more listings for our buyers to go see. And so, Austin's had a real struggle over the last 12 months or so, or maybe longer than that, really, that we just didn't have enough homes for people to go look at. And when they did go look at them, it was, extremely, what's the right word I'm trying to go for? Competitive, what have you on this. And so right now we're starting to see, more sellers are getting their homes in the market for summer. And, we have increased our listings by, a sizable number really within that last week or so, to where our buyers have something to look at. I've talked to numerous buyers who are very excited because they have things to look at now, and something to actually go hopefully be a homeowner in Austin, Texas. So it's very exciting news for us. You want your market to be more balanced, and our market has been balanced on the side of sellers for so long, and now we're seeing a little bit of a shift where buyers are going to have a little more say in the market, and it's actually positive. As much as sellers want to think this is wonderful, they would rather buyers not have it. It's good for our health of our economy and our market that buyers and sellers can both enjoy. A seller can still sell their home, but a buyer can actually get a home. So that's really exciting, and I'm excited for people to be looking because I think they're going to see a lot more options now.
Yeah, because for the past several years, oftentimes on Thursday, I'm giving you a call and saying, okay, Mark, we've got these 3 or 4 buyers that are going to be out looking for homes. Be ready for a phone call Saturday or Sunday to submit a lender letter for our multiple offer deadline that's happening Sunday evening or Monday morning. And that scene has started to change a little bit. So arm me with a little bit of information on sort of what's the pacing of your schedule right now in terms of buyer activity, submitting and prepping lender letters.
Well, it's changed a little bit in the sense that it's not as urgent. My buyers now are, they're looking on the Thursday through Sunday is really the heavy looking times. But what I'm finding is people may see a house on Friday and they'll think about it for a day or two because it's not as urgent as it was a few weeks ago. And, it's a little bit from a selling standpoint. Sellers are like, wow, it's not going as fast, but it's not bad. It just means buyers can take a deeper breath than they could a few weeks ago. And I love the fact people can take a deep breath, go home, sleep on it. Yeah, we want to make an offer, Jill, and we're ready to do it. And then so I'll consult them over the weekend or what have you numerous times just to get them ready to what they want to offer on the home. And I find it real positive because there's now more selection. And I think if Austin gets back to more of an even market, that's so healthy for us. We all want to live in this beautiful city and do things here, and we just need a healthy market for both buyers and sellers. And if you talk about sellers, they want to make your house cute and do all the little touches that Jill tells you to do because that's important. you know. And but from a buying, it's this is wonderful news. As a buyer, you're going to be able to go out and look at homes now and really actually see something you may like on any given weekend.
Yeah, so to give our clients and neighbors a sense of what is a balanced market, traditionally in real estate, a balanced market is 6.5 months of inventory. And as of this morning, we have about hovering slightly under 2 months inventory, which is a huge adjustment from what we've had. That's up from a half a month or less month inventory for our active buyers looking for homes in the area in the Central Texas region. So something that I know that you and I have been talking about is how rapidly this market is shifting and changing. And oftentimes when I'm out visiting with sellers or buyers and laying the foundation for what to begin organizing their plan to buy a home or sell a home, oftentimes clients are living with a story that was last month or 6 months ago, or stories that they heard of their neighbor. And the reality is, sometimes our market is changing every 7 days, dramatically. And I think people have been living with the stories of this crazy Central Texas market for the past 2 years, and they've been sort of planning as they move and shift into their next chapter post-pandemic what they want to do. People are changing their jobs, they're moving closer to family, they're reimagining. It's the great reset that everyone's talking about. People are coming out of this deciding, I want to, live closer to my parents, or I want to live closer to my grandkids, or I want to buy land, or I want to be able to build a pool, or they're redefining. And people have now had the time to daydream and to unleash their creativity in terms of what that next chapter is. And they've prepped their homes, and everyone is coming on the market. And another thing that has occurred, you and I have talked about it, is the county appraisals emerged last month. And when people started digesting the reality that their home values were going up significantly and what they could sell their home for, people started shifting. Do I want to remain in Texas? Do I want to remain in this county or in this area? Is this the time that I should be, taking the value in my property and moving on? And so this new influx of inventory has emerged of homeowners that have decided to take advantage of this opportunity. So the numbers right now, before you and I got on this call, on the MLS, active homes today, 6,540 homes. That we have not seen that number in about a decade of active homes. Last January, just to give some perspective, last January, January 19th, 2021, we were about to hover under 1,000 active listings in the MSA, our Central Texas region. So that's a huge difference. And that's just leading to, like you said, more homes sitting on the market, taking more time, which is very surreal and new for sellers to adjust to. Is, oh my gosh, my home is not, it's not going on the market in a multiple offer in 4 days. So the average, what I'm seeing right now, and we've chatted about it, is 30 to, in some situations, 60 days for an offer to come in. One offer to come in for a house. So Mark, tell me, how many shifts of markets have you lived through in your 30-year career?
Yes. So in my 30 years, I've seen about 4 or 5 shifts. In 1994, we had a shift. We had one in 2001. We had one in 2007, 8, kind of that range. We had another one in around 14, another one around 19. So, and the shifts, they're just a change. We just have to, rethink what we do and educate. And, the biggest thing, as a lender that I like to do is just, I want people to have information, educate them as best I can, and teach them really what's happening in our markets. And really, right now the shift is we have more homes to look at, which is absolutely fantastic. So I think that's all good. Interest rates are on the rise. Everybody's heard that. And just to touch on that briefly, on interest rates, I always tell people, my clients, this, that it's kind of the last thing you need to worry about, because you can change the interest rate. You can't change your home. And so when you go to look at a home and you find a perfect home, you're looking for something your family can enjoy for a number of years. Well, the interest rates may be high today. And when I say high, they're not high. Historically, they're very, very low. We're still in the high fives and mid fives. They vary daily, and historically, that's very, very low. But if you did it in a perspective like Jill, go back to January, December, we would have been around 3.5. So it sounds high, but it's not high historically. But the thing about the interest rate to always remember is you can always refinance out of the note. And so you find your perfect house in 2-3 years from now, you may be refinancing completely out of this interest rate. And so those are things to think about. Don't let the interest rate bother you if it's the time is right to buy the perfect home for your family and become a homeowner. And
That's so important, and you remind me of that often, is that, if you need to make a change, purchase a house, a larger home, or downsize or relocate, that's a priority. But you can always take an advantage of a refinance later for a lower rate. Can you remind me what the interest rate change has meant for buyers in terms of their approval, their price range, as an education for sellers?
yes,
So
so
if I was approved for $600,000 when the interest rate was at 3.5, how is the interest rate changing?
So basically, if you look at the different terms and how much it affects people, and you really look at that, if someone was approved at a $600,000 sales price back in January, they're probably good for about a $475,000 to $500,000 house today. And so it's a significant number. It's as much as 20% less sales price that a buyer can buy now. And it's not terrible, but it is definitely a shift. And so we look at all sorts of options to help people, from adding parent co-signers to more down payment. But just overall, when you see a shift like this, it does take some buyers out of the market on certain homes. And so, overall, like if you were a seller and your home was in a, say 600 price range, you may have lost a few buyers who no longer can afford your home. And it's not terrible news by any means, but it just, it may take a little longer to sell a home for that reason. I mean, that's really something that's going to impact us all. I always like to just add to people that, when you look at interest rates in terms like this, don't let an interest rate keep you from having your dream and slowing your life down. Always know that when you look at real estate over time will appreciate. No one can ever guarantee that when it will appreciate, but you can look at Austin, Texas, and at this point today, as we're speaking, there's not a person who's ever lost money in real estate right now who's holding on to their home. Real estate, if you've not sold it, you have made money. And always know that real estate, cycles and what have you don't last very long. I mean, and we live in a beautiful city with lots of jobs and lots of creativity, restaurants and places people want to be. So I don't think there's ever a bad time to buy. And I think this shift in the market is wonderful news. I mean, I'm super excited for people to be able to buy homes, and sellers can still sell. So it's all good for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as we learned through the pandemic, life happens. People need to buy and sell their homes at all times of year and all times of life. So, if you are experiencing a transition in your life, work with an experienced team of people that can support and guide you through that transition. But it's doable. If I can stage homes and prep homes sight unseen, at the beginning of the pandemic, I was staging houses virtually. We were doing virtual tours, and we were able to help people make moves during the peak of shelter in place. A question that I've been getting a lot recently is, are you seeing any creative loan applications, like non-traditional loan applicants, like friends or roommates, or not the typical husband-wife or life partners? I know we're seeing more parents and children applying for loans and buying houses together. Are you seeing any alternative creative ways for people to step into home ownership?
Yes, I'm definitely seeing that. I've had numerous families where I have the parents and the children are going to buy a home together, and they pool all their assets and their income to buy a home together. They can take care of each other better that way. It also allows them to buy a little nicer home per se. But I'm seeing more and more of it. I'll call the extended family living together. I'm also seeing roommate situations where you'll have two friends or partners that have known each other for years and are just ready to buy a home, and they realize that by pooling their assets and income together, they can buy a nicer place. And so I am seeing more of the word non-traditional. I'm seeing more and more of that, and I do think in the future we'll see more of that as we move forward. And you look at that, it's actually a real positive, because that is enabling more people to be homeowners in our country. If you really look at the United States, most people's entire wealth is their home. And so when you really look at that, the more people that can own homes in this country, the better, because that's when you'll grow old someday and you go to retire, your home may be your best asset. So, and
Yeah, and
that,
pre-pandemic, I was seeing an increase of people not waiting until they married to step into home ownership. And I was reading a recent article about, I think it was the family law or the family code changes that was happening in Cuba, and it was sort of opening up a conversation about chosen families. And I thought that was an interesting discussion for us to maybe continue to have on steps that people could take to bring their chosen family together to enter into wealth building.
yeah.
And I'm sure I don't know if you have any simple tips to share about that. But I'm sure there's some guidelines that people would encourage in terms of responsibility when a sale happens. But maybe it isn't as complicated as people think. But what a wonderful way for people to maybe work through the system. But I'd love to see that happen, because the rental scene is certainly going to take a big hit from the rise in rental rates from property taxes. So if we can get more chosen families to identify ways to step into wealth building, that could really change the dynamic of our city in helping affordability and density. Anyway, there was another question that I had for you. I'm getting a lot of questions about lot. I want to buy a plot of land and build. Any recommendations for that on where folks should approach a lender in that route?
Oh yeah. So definitely, we do that all the time. And basically, the order that you would go in is you would find the land, and we would do what's known as a land or lot loan, and you would buy the land or lot, and so now you would own that, and you would make payments on the land or lot while you get your plans and your architect and your builder together. And then once you get your plans and everything ready to go, and the builder has the bid put together, you come in and you do a construction loan, which pays off the land loan, and that enables you to basically build your dream home. And so we're seeing more and more of that right now, people doing that. I'm doing 3 right now this week, where people are actually doing that. And it is a little more time. It does take a little more of your time. So I won't tell people it's easy, because it's a job to build a home. So because you're picking everything out on the entire home. And so when you and the builder meet, you'll go room by room, picking out every faucet, doorknob, what have you. So it's more work, but it is rewarding, because you get what you really want. And so I am seeing more of that. The process takes a while. We generally our loans are usually, when you do the construction loan, they're usually 15 months long, more than a year, just to give you time to get the house complete and everything else. Building is taking a while right now. Just like all industries, and we've all seen it from restaurants to, all sectors, and we're just staffed. They need more people to build homes right now.
And I'll be honest, the clients that I have that are building, 15 months is not not enough time
even get enough time. Exactly.
For the build. It's taking a lot of my clients closer to 2 years for that process.
Yeah.
Okay, so for our buyers, this summer could be a really fantastic time for you to identify a property. I really want to encourage our neighbors and our community to reach out to the Austin Holistic Real Estate Group. We've got a variety of agents. The way that we work is we serve the whole client. We support and encourage and provide you with a safe, supportive place and team to guide you safely through the process. And goal set. We're very much about goal setting. So, we're going to take time to figure out what your primary priority goals are. And there are a variety of options. We're going to creatively brainstorm. So there's going to be a lot of dialogue, a lot of conversation, but I am telling some of my sellers, not that it's a bad time to sell, but we really have to go back to some of our basics of prepping your house. So for my sellers right now, I'm telling them, work on the maintenance, make sure all this home systems are in order. Clean up the house, landscaping, painting. You really have to work to set your house in terms of its curb appeal. Make sure that it makes a statement, because we are not in the environment and the market where you could just slap a home out there and someone's going to gobble it up. So that is something that I'm telling the sellers. If you can take the summer to prep the home. But buyers, we have, 6,500 homes on the market. When I got into real estate in 2005, there was like 11,000 active homes on the market. So we've got a lot more options to choose from. So reach out to Mark or me or any of our team, and we'll help you get qualified and start working through a strategy to identify a property for you and get you on the right path. It's taking some time, even though it's hot out there. We're out showing homes. Typically, homes come on the market Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're out through the weekend. We're just not seeing as many multiple offers, so that you have a little bit more breathe time to sit and make decisions and discuss things. I always encourage buyers to consider HOA fees, taxes. Some areas, some of our suburbs outside of Austin have some higher tax rates. So those are some things. And Mark and our team are always in dialogue about setting goals and boundaries and guidelines as we go out and support our buyers. Any other tips or thoughts to arm us for our week and summer market?
I think overall, just go out and enjoy this new market, this new experience we're having with more homes to go see and not as much of a rush to make an offer. I think that's the biggest thing to do. And I do think as the summer progresses, we'll see more and more homes. And that's exciting news for all of us.
Yeah, and we're, the reality is we're seeing some price reductions because sellers are in a transition of digesting a new scene and environment. So we're seeing some prices decrease. I suspect at the end of this month, heading into the beginning of July, we're going to have a better sense of where prices sort of settle. But this is a great time to get out there, explore more options than you've ever had. And negotiate for a variety of things, from repairs to closing time and assistance. Great. My earpiece keeps falling out. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for getting me all situated beginning of this week. And we'll check in with you next week.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me.
All right. Bye, Mark.
Bye.